Hello there. This is Project Bruiser. It's an FPV E Revo VXL 2.0. I have it hooked up to a 12 volt supply over there. I'm going to be having an external or a secondary battery to be running the lights. The cooling fan that's going to be mounting back here to keep the transmitter nice and cool. I'm new to FPV, so if you see something that's messed up, don't shoot me. However, I do know that the transmitter runs hot, so I've cut some extra air holes at the truck itself. Be it E Revo will run hot, so I put more air ventilation up there. This helped me get the camera in and through. I had to make some modifications to get that camera mounted, which is kind of cool. I'm going to try to make a bracket to help protect it. These slots here, I was thinking about putting some lights in there. However, on-off switch for the camera and then for the lights make more sense. This right here, I cut this out to help with extra airflow, going through while we're driving, because like I said, the Revos do tend to run a bit hot. Let's go through the upgrades. There we go. So right off the bat, I have RPM bumpers, front and rear. Then I put, if you're not already noticing, this is a 2.0, yes, and I did modify and put in front and rear sway arms to help keep it stable, because I am going to be running it first person view on 6S at that. That is a Max6 ESC. I put a small, very thin layer of foam on top of it. It's very breathable. It doesn't really inhibit the airflow very much at all. But because I've had little twigs go down in there and block the fan while driving, yeah, you understand, that's not good. I'm not too sure how air or dust or dirt may affect this. My motor, this is a Poseidon 2020 Steve New design. So it's extremely powerful. I have not run the truck with this motor yet. That's why these two wires over here have not been wrapped. I need to figure out the polarity before I go and run it. I am running a Radieolink, and it does have telemetry for the battery voltage set up, so I can tell what the voltage is on my battery. It's really nice, and it has dual antennas. Great distance. Actually has really impressive distance. The gearbox, it still has stock gearing. As you can see, I've already changed out, put aluminum heatsink there. This one over here is blue aluminum heatsink. And then there's a blue aluminum heatsink on the motor, dual fans. It's Hobbywing, but you can get it from Yaw Racing and any other place. Dual rate shocks on the front, and then 25-pound ones on the rear. That definitely helps a lot. Doesn't bottom out hardly at all. I have thicker push arms in the front. 30 millimeter axle hub extensions in there, which I wasn't too sure how that was going to affect it. When I ran it with the other motor, it drifted around corners a lot more. That was before I even put the sway arms on. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to handle now with the stronger motor and sway arms. The gearbox, I removed the stock grease and put in powdered graphite. I've done that before with my other E Revo that I had, and it actually lowered motor temperatures, believe it or not. A little bit less resistance. I know it sounds crazy, but after 6 months of driving it, took the gearbox apart and there was no damage. Everything was just fine. Problem is, you got to stay away from water. If the water gets inside the gearbox with the powdered graphite, it will clog up, so don't run it through water. Let's see, the modifications I had to do to get these sway arms on. You know, this is RC world. Gotta modify the stuff. The bolt, center bolt that goes in there to hold the rear pins in, I had to pull the bolt out itself. And then shave down the little triangle piece back there so that it would actually sit more flush to the chassis, and then put a couple of washers, as you can see, on there, and then mount it, and it worked really well. It's very stable. On top of that, to help get rid of some of the slop I have, you can see I made little extra spacers and pushed this all the way to the back. So there's not much room. There is no more room in there. I took up all that slop, making this rear end. As you see, there's no play. And it's really nice and sturdy. However, these A-arms, the top A-arms, are going to go to aluminum. The bottoms are going to go to heavy duties or RPMs. Same with the fronts. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm also going to put blue anodized heavy duty turnbuckles. That's going to happen. This is where I'm going to be putting my 3S battery for the FPV system. The small little 3S for drones. Of course, everybody makes this. That's the aluminum, Traxxas aluminum rear chassis race. Yeah, it's been a really good truck. I got trenchers on it. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. If you enjoy the E Revo, this would be a lot of things to think about, especially like right up in here. As you can see, I put a lot of attention to taking up that extra little bit of slop that it had. That way it doesn't wobble all over the place on you and causing you to lose control, which is kind of a problem, especially when you start adding, additional distance between your hub and the tires. Any bit of slop is going to really affect the stability. You're not going to drive very straight unless you get rid of your slop. Yeah, so this project's taking me a bit of time, and it still has a little bit more to go, but I'm really enjoying it. And if you have any likes or comments, drop them in there. I like to hear what you have to say. Any kind of improvements I can make, I'm looking to make it. I have a shroud on the way to cover this. And yeah, hope that way I can get rid of the, a little bit of foam and keep the motor safer. Single servo conversion. This is a very strong servo, and it's running on the higher power setting. Max6 ESC, like I said. So it is 8S capable, except for the motor. The motor is not 8S capable, or it's not supposed to be. However, I won't do that to this motor. It's going to be used for first-person view only, pretty much, and I'm going to see how it handles it. All right, enjoy.